very good evening and welcome to Newsline. It's the second day of February and I'm Claire Adelabu Abdul Razak, your pilot for tonight's journey. Now, you know what they say about the start of a new month. It's the perfect time to shift things around while, of course, keeping your feet firmly on the ground. But February isn't just any month. It carries a magic all its own. It's a time when love, friendship, and the warmth of human connections take center stage. It's a month filled with little surprises that make life so special. And just like February, that's exactly the spirit we're bringing to you on Newsline tonight, with stories that uplift, inspire, and of course remind us of the incredible power of determination and unity. Now, speaking of magic, imagine a 2-year-old defying the odds on skates. Now, of course, we know skating is no child's play. It requires balance, speed, and of course, agility, usually reserved for the seasoned and the very strong. But tonight, we'll introduce to you a very tiny prodigy, proving that age is it's not just a number, and of course, limits are meant to be broken. And in a world where language differences can sometimes divide, a community in Cross River State is showing that diversity isn't a barrier, it's a bridge. And their story proves that even when tongues differ, the heart speaks one language, and that's unity. So please do gather around, make yourselves comfortable, and let's take off together. I promise you, when we land, it will be with smiles and a renewed sense of possibilities. And so now, let's welcome Ogochukwu Ona for the news segment. Ogo, before I catch my breath, I'm sure you must have heard, they said this February carries a very rare magic we haven't seen in 823 years. So, what if you suddenly get an extra paycheck alert, or stumble upon a box of gold and silver jewelry, grow a sixth toe on your hand, or even wake up speaking very fluent Latin? Do not say I didn't warn you.
Claire, I'll grab all the miracles with both hands and legs, if possible. But growing a sixth toe on my hand, I think I will take a flight on this. And I'd also forget, Claire, that February is loaded with events, including health concerns like World Cancer Day, International Epilepsy Day, and of course, World Radio Day, which concerns us, and Valentine's Day. So, have you saved for red roses, or is it white this time?
Both of them.
All right, thank you very much, Claire, for joining the news desk. Ahead of the 63rd session of the United Nations Commission for Social Development to be held this February, a UN Social Development Workshop has been held with focus on social and economic dimensions to strengthen community resilience, accelerate government and civil society collaborations for social development. Deborah Balagbogbo reports.
Words of former Secretary General of the United Nations, Kofi Annan, development is about transforming the lives of people, not just transforming the economics. Stakeholders here are reflecting on these words as they tackle issues to come up with recommendations for international interventions at the upcoming 63rd session of the United Nations Commission for Social Development.
If we all focus our mind to doing what I have just heard this morning, turning engagement into actions.
The workshop hopes to draw attention of relevant foreign support and develop strategies to implement effective policies and programs aimed at achieving social development goals at national and international levels.
It is important that we identify the unique features, the unique challenges of social development in Africa and in Nigeria.
Where I come from in the north, we constantly had Aikingaya. People go out on Saturdays and clear the gutters or sweep the streets.
Stakeholders are optimistic that recommendations from the workshop will receive positive response at this year's UN session. In Abuja, Deborah Balagubu, NTA.
Jigawa State Governor Malam Umar Namadi has flagged off the distribution of cash palliative to the tune of 900 million naira to the poor and vulnerable indigents of the state to prepare them economically ahead of Ramadan. Mohammed Musa Askira reports that the cash distribution is for the 27 local government areas in the state.
These beneficiaries who described the cash donation as timely said APC administration in the country is impacting the lives of citizens positively, praying for successful tenure for the leaders. The cash palliative distribution held in Miga local government area of Jigawa State reached 2,018 beneficiaries in the area, with about 28,000 more to receive the cash donation across the state.
I am happy to be part of this empowerment. I will use it to boost my business. We thank the government for this great empowerment.
Governor Umar Namadi said the exercise is in line with his government's vision to reduce poverty rate by 10% every year.
Small businesses, women group that will benefit from this, and a total of about 900 million will go into this project. And this is an innovation that we have come up with to empower people at the grassroots, and it's part of the objective of this government, and it's part of the 12-point agenda of this administration. It is also part of the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President.
When governors comes into being, we went to him, we begged of him, we told him that since empowerment is part of your 12-point agenda, we want to start that empowerment, and he approved it.
The distribution of the cash palliative will continue until the selected 30,000 beneficiaries across the state received. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
And now health. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pati, says President Bola Tinubu's administration is committed to sustaining the eradication of polio and strengthening routine immunization across Nigeria. At the 42nd Expert Review Committee on Polio briefing in Abuja, the minister highlighted challenges such as vaccine procurement delays, community hesitancy, and cross-border virus transmission, emphasizing the need for greater accountability by political leaders at all levels to take responsibility to address gaps in the immunization program.
We would map out all these recommendations and see what does he do, what do I do. But that's just one part. On the political leadership, from the president, the vice president, the economic council, up to the governors, and we'll have the next NEC meeting and we'll go and continue to push. I'm responsible for that. And I take that responsibility and I continue to push, and I will not pass the buck.
We can get the governors of some, particularly states where we have intense transmission, to provide executive supervision. So when the governors get involved, then we are likely to achieve better results.
At the state level, some sort of a immunization coverage improvement planning kind of thing would really helpful, in addition to what is being done to strengthen the system as a whole, which is equally important.
And elsewhere, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention is confirming that the country has no case of Ebola virus disease following the disease outbreak in Uganda. Uganda's Ministry of Health has confirmed that only one case has so far been reported and one death caused by the Sudan species. 44 contacts are being followed up, and the country has continued to monitor the regional and global situations. Director General of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Dr. Jide Idris, in a public health advisory, says the center is working with relevant ministries, departments, and agencies and partners through the National Emergency Viral Disease Technical Working Group to monitor the disease occurrence, and has also initiated measures to strengthen preparedness in the country. He explained that surveillance has been heightened, especially at the points of entry, and optimizing diagnostic capacity for EVD testing in designated laboratories in cities with international airports of entry, and the National Reference Laboratory. Though the World Health Organization advises against any restrictions to travel or trade to Uganda, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control wants citizens and residents of the country to avoid all but essential travel to countries with confirmed cases of the Ebola virus disease. Nasarawa State Government is developing a sustainable legal framework to tackle public health challenges in the state. Victoria Kasuwa Ojito reports that this was unveiled at a consultative stakeholders forum of a Public Health Security Bill 2024 in steps towards attaining universal access.
The town hall meeting with stakeholders in the health sector is to dissect and make insightful contributions on the State Public Health Security Bill 2024. The provision of the bill include disease surveillance, emergency response mechanism, infection prevention and vaccination policies, among others.
The essence of the bill is to give the legal backing to the reform we are about to.
The bill seeks to enhance public health security, promote collaboration across human, animal, and environmental sectors under one health approach with emphasis on respect for individual rights, privacy, and cultural values.
You know, sometimes you'll meet some patients or a confirmed case, and you say, I want to take you to isolation center, and they'll decline. And you have no right to hold them back. And they'll go ahead to spread the disease.
Also captured in the bill are mandatory use of electronic tools for reporting infectious disease and establishment of disease surveillance for inspections with activation of public health emergency operations centers at the state and local levels. In Lafia, Victoria Kaswa Ojito, NTA News.
In a near-death experience, a 59-year-old businessman has undergone surgery to remove 57 pellets of cocaine stuck in his stomach 7 days after ingesting the illicit substance in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. He was nabbed at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. Sawa Khalil Ibrahim tells us more.
The suspect was arrested by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, at the arrival hall of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport after a body scan revealed illicit drugs in his system. Investigation revealed that the suspect, who claimed to be into clothing business in Oshodi, departed Lagos for Addis Ababa, where he ingested 81 wraps of cocaine. The following day, 23rd January, he boarded a flight to Beirut, Lebanon, to deliver the illicit consignment for a fee of $3,000. Upon his arrival in Beirut, he was refused entry because he didn't meet his travel requirement. He was then deported to Addis Ababa, where he attempted excreting the illicit drug but could not. He thereafter proceeded to Lagos on Saturday, 25th January, with the consignment in his bowel. He was, however, arrested upon his arrival at the Lagos airport by NDLEA officers on 26 January. After 5 days under excretion observation, he could only expel 24 pellets. After developing serious complications, he was eventually admitted at the tertiary facility, where he had to undergo exploratory laparotomy to extract the remaining 57 wraps of cocaine. In all, a total of 81 pellets of the Class A drug with a cross weight of 1.943 kilograms were recovered from his stomach. Meanwhile, NDLEA operatives in Lagos on Wednesday, 29th January, intercepted a consignment of 2,000 kilograms of Ghanaian loud at Lekki Beach, where 2 suspects and the consignment were taken into custody. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
Commanders of the Joint Civilian Task Force nationwide have converged on Abuja to review performance and make projections with renewed hope. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the task force pledges its support to nation's security services to defeat all forms of crimes.
From terrorism to banditry, kidnapping and other high level of crimes and criminality, the Civilian Joint Task Force remains strategic in intelligence gathering, internal peace and trans-border security governance. Now, this security review session of its operations is aimed at seeking support at different levels of intervention to empower operatives of the task force in carrying out community policing in line with the UN conventions.
We are calling on the heads of the securities and other paramilitary to continue to support the civilian JTF so that we will reach the promised land where we will sleep our true eyes closed in Nigeria. So we hold this meeting as a strategic roadmap to further bring peace and unity to Nigeria and Nigerians.
The outcome is expected to address issues of funding and other support critical to its operations as it continues to deliver its mandate of offering surveillance and combat services in the last 17 years. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And still on security matters, following a directive by the Inspector General of Police on due implementation of Action Plan for year 2025, police operatives have rescued 13 trafficked persons and 3 hostages. It is part of ongoing efforts to strengthen national security by intensifying crackdown on organized crimes and crimes against persons, particularly human trafficking and kidnapping. Police operatives attached to the Kaduna State Command on the 31st of January 2025 apprehended 3 suspects. They were arrested while trafficking 13 victims to Oyo State in an unmarked vehicle. The victims were rescued and investigation is still ongoing. Police operatives of the Ogun State Command carried out a covert operation and located the den of kidnappers responsible for the reported abduction. 5 gang members were neutralized, while weapons, 3 mobile phones, and cash sum of 5.2 million naira and vehicles of the hostages were recovered in the operation. The IGP encourages all police officers to remain committed to ensuring law and order. The federal government expresses its condolences to the people of Germany, especially to the family, friends, and associates of former President Horst Kohler, who recently passed away. A statement by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs describes his death as a significant loss globally, noting his leadership qualities and dedication to international cooperation and development. Kohler served as president from 2004 to 2010 and as managing director of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, playing a key role in fostering economic stability and strengthening ties with Africa, including Nigeria. Nigeria honors its commitment to peace and mutual understanding, saying his legacy will continue to inspire future generations. U.S. top 3 major trading partners respond to new tariff regime enacted by President Trump. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu heads to the U.S. to meet President Trump. And we now join Kolo Mohammed for details of these and other stories on Global Update.
China has hit out on the move by U.S. President to impose tariffs on Beijing, saying it firmly opposes the measure. In a statement released on Sunday, the country's Commerce Ministry vowed to take corresponding countermeasures to resolutely safeguard the interests of its economy. Canada says it will hit back at U.S. tariffs with 25% levies on its selected American goods. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau voiced as he warned of a fracture in long-standing Canada-U.S. ties.
Like the American tariffs, our response will also be far-reaching and include everyday items, also standing up for the relationship between Canada and the United States, which, as I've said, is the most successful partnership and friendship the world has ever seen.
Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum has also threatened retaliation. She said she will wait with a cool head for Trump's decision and was prepared to continue a better dialogue with him. And from the Middle East, as the prisoner and captives' peaceful exchange continue, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Sunday is on his way to the U.S., expected to meet President Trump in Washington and discuss the next phase of ceasefire in Gaza. Netanyahu will be the first foreign leader to visit Trump since he took office for the second time. Kolo Muhammad, NTA News.
And what's trending in sports? Let's now join Bade Adeleye. Bade, what's the latest? We hear Arsenal and Man City 5-0. Tell us more.
You're very much correct, Ogo. It was a bad day in the office for Manchester City today, but we'll get back to that. Let's begin with the Nigerian Premier Football League, as despite securing only a point against relegation-threatened Plateau United after their match day 22 game ended 1-0 on Sunday, with 37 points behind leaders, Shooting Stars remain second in the Nigeria Premier Football League. And in other matches played on Sunday, at the Sani Abacha Stadium, Kano Pillars were held to a goalless draw by visitors Bayelsa United. In Owerri, Finidi George and a struggling Rivers United side made it 5 games without a win after losing 2-0 to Emmanuel Amunike's tutored Heartland side. Anas Yusuf earned a brace against Niger Tornadoes as it lifted Nasarawa United to 18th on the log, while Akwa United still languish at the bottom of the league after a 2-0 defeat to Abia Warriors. And straight to the English Premier League now, where Arsenal put up a 5-star performance as Mikel Arteta claimed the bragging right over his rival Pep Guardiola after the Gunners humbled Manchester City 5-1 to move into second position behind league leaders Liverpool. Ethan Nwaneri got the icing on the cake after Odegaard, Partey, Lewis Kelly and Kai Havertz also found the net. Elsewhere, Manchester United slumped to their 11th defeat of the season with a 2-0 loss to Crystal Palace at Old Trafford. Manchester United supporters, however, have at least something to cheer about, as the club has completed the signing of Leicester wingback Patrick Dogo in a deal worth over £25 million. This is also coming at a time Marcus Rashford is expected to switch to Aston Villa on loan. And to the Spanish La Liga now, where Barcelona moved 4 points behind leaders Real Madrid as Robert Lewandowski's strike secured the vital 3 points for the Catalans. Earlier on Saturday, Espanyol had shocked Real Madrid with a 1-0 win after Atletico Madrid defeated Mallorca by 2 goals, with only 1 point separating them from leaders Real Madrid. But before I go, let me talk to the duo of Ogo and Claire, the sports loving Claire. Remo Stars still doing well on top of the Nigeria Professional Football League. And of course, I know you'll be very much interested in that thrashing coming from Arsenal to Manchester City. 5-1, it ended.
Okay, let's start from home. Let's start from the Nigerian Premier League. I don't know what is it, this ding-dong thing between Finidi George and Emmanuel Amuneke. I didn't watch the match, but I know that in 2024 you find that it's either Finidi George, Rivers United, beat Amuneke's Heartland. But this time around, it was Emmanuel Amuneke's team beating Finidi George. So, and both of them, were wingers. Amuneke, you will see Amuneke moving like a zebra, on the field of play from the midfield to the right wing. And Finidi had space. So I'm really excited about what's going on between the two of them. And talking about Man City and Arsenal, well, you know what happened last time? Haaland, I hear, said to Arteta, be humble. But this time, this is poetic justice, and I hear the social media is quiet.
Sure. Well, I want to believe, Haaland is humble now.
There's no need to debate. I'm sure God doesn't want to talk about it. There's no need to debate. The score lines tell the story. And someone said, and someone said on the social media that the goals were so sweet that no VAT check was required.
It was a total whitewash. It happens. They will bounce back. They've got quality.
All right, I'll go.
All right, Claire, you love sports a lot. Maybe you should switch from broadcasting to sports.
She's very much welcome.
It's a part of broadcasting.
No, you should be playing football. All right, thank you, Bade, and of course, Claire, thank you so much. Our first break is now. Claire will be back.
All right, welcome back to Newsline. Remember the nursery rhyme? 30 days had September, April, June, and November, except for February, which has 28 days or 29 in a leap year. We're not sure how many of our children today can't still recite it, but that little rhyme is actually a reflection of the Gregorian calendar. Now, February's uniqueness is undisputed, but when Annie Daniels received a WhatsApp message claiming this year's February holds a once-in-823 years miracle, she decided to dig deeper. So, here's what she found out. Annie, over to you.
When I received this message, I took a moment to verify if the information was true. To my surprise, it was. This February has 4 Mondays, 4 Tuesdays, 4 Wednesdays, 4 Thursdays, 4 Fridays, 4 Saturdays, and 4 Sundays, making it a perfect 28-day month. The sender called it a miracle month, claiming it happens only once every 823 years. Wow. The message urged me to share it widely to receive the supposed miracles. But did I? Well, that's for you to guess. Curious about the claim and the so-called miracles, I decided to ask around. Was anyone else aware of this once-in-a-lifetime February 2025?
Seen the message, and I also forwarded to my friends, and I even asked them to forward. So we were expecting a miracle and all, but since then I've not seen any changes. It's more like a waste of time and data.
If I see money entering my accounts for forwarding the message, I will start looking for people that are forwarding messages so that I'll get more money now. Yeah, if it actually works, then obviously I would first count myself lucky.
Stanley Chubihim, an award-winning scientist, steps in to clarify.
This is extremely a fallacy. Absolutely, it has no scientific backing. They have been sending that news for over 10 years. Miracle comes only from God. It is not by sharing a certain value on a number in a social media.
Chubihim explains further.
What has scientific backing for 2025 is a year, that's a square year. What do you mean by a square year? Is that a year, a number will multiply itself to give you that particular year. 45 times 45 will give you 2025. The last square year was in 1936, because 44 times 44 will give you 1936. Another square year is going to come in 2116. That is 46 times 46 in the next 95 years. And then again, 2025 is a sum of all the single digits from 1 to 9, their cubes will give you 2025. What do I mean by that? 1 times 1 times 1 plus 2 times 2 times 2 plus 3 times 3 times 3 plus 4 times 4 times 4 plus 5 times 5 times 5 up to 9 times 9 times 9 will give you 2025.
Well, now you know better.
I don't know. When you go into the realm of the abstract, you lost me. Anyway, whatever it is, we'll wait for it. Now, you know, I'm a Rivers girl and haven't lived in Rivers State for over a decade. I know firsthand that the mangroves are more than just trees. They are a way of life. Seafood was a staple on my plate, and you could never catch me eating my vegetables without a touch of pyom-pyom, you know, those unshelled periwinkles that melt into a very rich vegetable soup. And let's not forget ingolo, oysters, and ofingo, clams, delicacies straight from the mangroves. But beyond the flavors, These waters provide livelihoods, sustaining communities with an abundance of fish and raffia palms for various needs. Now, the mangroves, whether fresh or salt water, are the heartbeat of coastal life. So what happens when this livelihood is choked by oil spills? Now, that's been the harsh reality for years. But the real question should be, how are the people coping in the face of such devastation? Charles Alpha had the rare privilege of visiting some affected areas in Rivers State, and here's what he found out.
Kedere, a community in Gokana local government area of Rivers State, remains heavily concentrated after 30 years of non-oil activities.
If you look around, you will see fish ponds being overtaken by oil coming out from the ground. I'm told that in this place there are about 68 oil fields, and what it means is that it is the most impacted in Rivers State.
Everywhere on this field is soaked up. Every deep footprint is filled with oil. But here, nature is fighting back. There are lives still finding expressions in the midst of it all. Crops are finding their ways around, but most importantly, mangroves are surviving the concentration.
After the degradation, you have nothing left. You have a place where fishes, periwinkles, snails, and all life that could have thrived is not thriving as it should. But should we restore what has been left out? We get this back. And that's why for us, we're talking about mangrove restoration, conservation, and protection. This shows me that even in the midst of nothing, there is hope.
These mangroves are standing right in the middle of the polluted field. And somehow, members of this community believe their survival can only mean life, and livelihoods can at least get back to the way they were if the restoration, protection, and conservation plan of mangroves by the federal government is carried out effectively.
Knowing that there are people now beginning to look into the rural communities beyond Abuja and Port Harcourt, coming to find out how they can partner and empower the communities to know their rights and know what they have to do. If there are initiatives, if there are funding opportunities, if they need to teach us how we can help to preserve the environment, we'll be delighted.
We are talking to the youth to make sure that we don't involve in anything that will bring negativity on our environment.
Protecting lives and property and the well-being of the citizens is one of the primary functions of the government. I think as a government, we need to put our heads together now that we're beginning to have this collaboration to see how we can maybe declare some of these areas under a state of emergency.
Although HIPREP is carrying out remediation operations here, the Director General, National Council on Climate Change Secretariat, Nkiru Kamadu Ekwe believes with Rivers State domesticating the Climate Change Act, both government, including the affected communities, can co-create a sustainable environment everyone can call home. There was a town hall meeting earlier at Kedere and a visit to the palace of the Birimene of Gokana Kingdom, where the DG presented the Climate Change Act.
Such devastation, I'm all too familiar with, that side from Kana to Gokana, down to Okrika, even to Ishokbo in Ikwere local government area, you find such devastation. But we're glad that government is making efforts to, of course, clean up and restore the vegetation. Now, the world is full of wonders, and some areas are blessed with exotic scenery, lush natural habitats, and breathtaking landscapes. Now, Cross River State is home to the famous Obudukatu Ranch, and this is a prime example of such natural beauty. Yet amidst these scenic wonders, the Uban community holds a very unique marvel of its own, a cultural practice where men and women are said to speak different languages, yet remarkably, they understand each other perfectly. Now, this intriguing phenomenon known as gender-based diglosia has been passed down through generations. Now, let's join Erika Ivey as she explores this very intriguing phenomenon where men and women speak different languages.
Language is part of the culture of a people, and Cross River State is blessed with different languages apart from the 3 official languages of Bekwara and Ejagam. Language sustains the identity and tradition of a people, and through it, thoughts and feelings are communicated. It may interest you to know, with a pinch of surprise, that nature and creation manifests itself in a mysterious way in Ubang community, where men and women in the same village speak different languages. Could this be true? And if yes, how will their children cope as they grow up?
They have common understanding. They do things together, even though the languages is different.
It's true. I'm a builder. When I went there for construction, I witnessed where men speak different, women speak different.
I'm part of the Ubang community in Abuja because my grandmother lived there, married there.
The men don't have to learn the language of the women or the dialect of the women to be able to communicate. Neither do the women.
The ancient community of Ubang in Obudu local government area is described as one of the wonders of the world and a beacon of cultural diversity that could increase the state tourism potentials if properly harnessed.
It's quite very, very interesting. It is historic, and for us, we would have said it's one of those wonders of the world. Because coming from the same community, seeing that even the children coming up at this time would understand that because I'm a female, this is my own language, and that I'm a male, this is my own language. Yes, the government is aware of it. We're aware of the place. They are cohabiting very well.
Then when it comes to the language sector, this is all over the world. I've never heard it. This is the first time we are hearing a thing like this. So as a state, we need to look at the place, we need to project the people, we need to bring the people out and also make them come on live television, the man and the woman, and let them have a conversation. So that because when most people hear it, it sounds like a might.
We can capitalize on these practices that are uncommon, and that is what the world is looking at. That is what scholars are looking for. They are rare, they are not common. In different climes, I doubt if we can have, you may have very few of such cases even in other parts of the world, but you can use this case to promote tourism.
The people of Ubang community are predominantly cocoa farmers, and the community is blessed with natural resources. And so when next you visit Cross River State, make a trip to Ubang community, where you will witness the men and women speak Ofe and Ariseki.
All right. Nothing starts a day better than a crunchy, mouth-watering bowl of Kellogg's cereal. But beyond filling the body, Kellogg's is also nourishing young minds through creativity and talent. At the 6th edition of the Kellogg's Superstar Scholarship Award ceremony recently, 150 exceptional children aged 4 to 10 were recognized for their brilliance and awarded scholarships of 150,000 naira each, earning them the proud title of Kellogg's brand ambassadors. And our correspondent, Amaka Owo, reports from Lagos.
Indeed, breakfast time is Kellogg's time. The Kellogg's Superstar Award ceremony celebrates both the achievements of these young winners across Nigeria and their role as influential representatives of Kellogg's. Emphases were made on the importance of meeting the physical, mental, and emotional needs of the children.
If you take care of the mental health of the children, you are saving the generation.
The skill that they have developed from this scholarship include the writing skills.
And I think it's a way of bringing in some financial succor to the parents.
Breakfast is often regarded as the most important meal of the day. We require fuel to power our mind and bodies. Kellogg's Superstar cereal is an excellent choice, packed with essential vitamins and minerals that support our well-being.
Pupils from various schools who emerged tops from the AC competition titled From Breakfast to Greatness, which was a criteria for selecting the awardees, who were presented with the scholarship of 150,000 naira each.
We have more trust in Kellogg than any cereal. Kellogg's are so amazing. It makes me feel brave, make me feel smart and energetic. I'm so happy for winning this.
For the Kellogg's brand, impacting the future generations remains core priority.
It's about creativity in children. It's about bringing out the educative spirit and identifying our leaders for tomorrow, because a lot of kids have this talent. For the past 6 years, we've identified these kids and we've projected them to the world as superstars, not just for now, but forever.
Kellogg's keeps setting the pace for others to follow in rewarding brand loyalty through supporting the education of children.
Everybody say I am a winner.
Well, I didn't get to eat Kellogg's while growing up. I ate something else, but never mind. Time to catch my breath, but remember, Newsline is just getting started. All right, welcome back. Now, in the deeply rooted traditions of Daura, few women have been turbaned with titles of great influence, but Dr. Baraka Sani has carved her own path. Recognized for her leadership, philanthropy, and contributions to agriculture, she was honored with the titles of Kilishin Daura and Magajia Sandamu by the Emir of Daura, Umar Farooq Umar. Dr. Baraka Sani's journey reflects resilience and service. Her turbaning was a moment of history, drawing dignitaries from far and near to celebrate a woman breaking barriers. Hussaini Suleiman breaks the highlights of this remarkable occasion.
The atmosphere was quintessentially royal as people from all walks of life gathered at the legendary Verge de Fales, including the governors of Katsina Dukko Umar Radda and that of Zamfara Dauda Lawal alongside their wives and wife of the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar for the turbaning of Dr. Baraka Sani. Type of office, a royal sword, were presented to Dr. Baraka Sani by the monarch, symbolizing her confinement with Kilishin Sarkin Daura and Magajir Sandamu.
We confer upon you this title in recognition of your exemplary spirit of brotherhood, respect for elders, and outstanding contributions to national development.
Your Highness, we are at loss for words to express our gratitude for what transpired today. The events of the day demonstrate the true spirit of brotherhood.
The turbaning ceremony featured a mini but colorful Doba procession with horse riders paying homage to the new Magajir Sandamu.
We congratulate her for this honor, and we also thank His Royal Highness the Emir of Daura for this very, very historic recognition.
Baraka is a princess, even before the issue of tyranny. I think it's a very excellent recognition from the Emirate.
It's a well-deserved appointment. It's not political, it's traditional. She belongs to this family. She's from this dynasty.
It is a great honor for all the family for such a recognition by our royal father, the Emir of Daura, and we can't say enough of how happy we are.
A special dinner was held with special performance at the decorated Umar Farooq Stadium.
By Kilishin Sarkin Daura, the first daughter born in the family after coronation of an emir.
Dia Baraka, she's an astute philanthropist, and she's someone who loves to give and who loves to help.
She has been a role model to a lot of women in our society, and I advise her to keep what she has been doing.
The new Kilishin Sarkin Daura and Magajir Sandamu, Dr. Baraka Sani Senator, expressed delight for the recognitions, pledging to continue our philanthropic work for the society.
I also thank the people of my community for showing that excitement and enthusiasm in the fact that I have been given these two traditional titles. And I don't take this for granted. I believe it is worthy of celebration.
The celebrations rounded up with a thank you visit to the Emir of Daura, who directed her to proceed to her royal domain in Sandamu district, where she was warmly welcomed by the district head and his subjects.
Absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. Now, the art of philanthropy, the sheer will to give selflessly, is not a trait found in everyone, and that is why those who embody it deserve to be celebrated. Now, Dr. Mohammed Musa Zango is one of those rare breeds in northern Nigeria. Though retired, his philanthropic gestures have uplifted many, leaving an indelible mark on countless lives. It is therefore no surprising that his community, Zango in Kano State, came out in droves to honor him. And as expected, the tributes flowed for the man fondly described as a true champion of his people. Aminu Omar was there.
This is Dangu, located in the heart of the ancient city of Kano. It is the community that produced Muhammad Musa, whose contributions extend far beyond Kano, reaching all corners of the country.
He's just a Kano man by birth. He's also a Deltan. He's an Edo man. He's a Rivers man. He's everywhere. And I said that I won't be surprised if he's one of the policy makers of the country in the nearest future.
The reason the chief left his kingdom in Delta to come to Kano was to join in the celebration with Muhammad Musa Zango, founder of the Fatah Foundation, in recognition of his significant investment in education, healthcare, and other humanitarian services for the community.
Since the demise of my father, Alhaji has been taking care of our education, the 8 of us.
Those that are in need of support, he really helped a lot of people there.
I don't know how I can call Alhaji Fatah. It's just a blessing from God to our society, because he's a person who is following you. Just tell your complaint, your problem, he's ready to solve.
This is why Zango community came together to welcome their son back home after his years of service to the nation and retirement as Managing Director of Medical Services at NNPCL.
The total expenditure of this foundation in 2024 stood at 43,353,000, which was funded by Fatah alone.
Your vision, leadership, and generosity have brought us together today, and I'm proud to support this noble endeavor.
Somebody who has been of great influence in the things that have become a hallmark of the glory of our organization today.
As the saying goes, behind every successful man is a woman. As Muhammad Musa is fortunate to have not only his supportive spouse, but also a mother who, despite her old age, attended the event to witness the fruits of her guidance. She was joined by her in-law in celebrating the occasion.
Congo is a man of the people. He loves his relations. He loves people around him. He's a workaholic. I think that's why he reached the heights of successes.
I feel very grateful to God Almighty for keeping us alive and also in good health condition to see today.
The event featured the launch of a calendar, awards presentation by members of his community, a cake cutting ceremony, and a medical outreach.
Well, the women say they are no longer staying behind their men. They are right there, side by side, all the way through. So it was a celebration of a new beginning for Abdul Jabbar Kalo and his long-time heartthrob, Amira, as the both walked down the aisles at a wedding reception organized in their honor. Now, the event of course, was attended by high-profile Nigerians, including the Vice President and the Nigeria's #2 citizen, Kashim Shettima.
He had eagerly anticipated, but for the blissful couple, it was a dream finally fulfilled. As dusk gave way to dawn, the two became one, surrounded by loved ones. To celebrate their union, a grand dinner reception was held, officially welcoming them into the esteemed circle of married couples. The young couple made a stunning entrance, capturing the attention of all in attendance, including the Vice President Kashim Shettima.
We are here now to the unity we are praying for them.
Made a very good friendship and one of very good understanding of that's very supportive, and I look forward to starting a life with her.
He's the most selfless man I've ever met, and he's very honest, and the most important thing is he's very ambitious and hardworking.
May Almighty Allah bless his family, grant him children, blessed children. He has been a wonderful boy. He has been so caring to the family.
Have to write your own story. When everybody and elders keep telling you that you have to tolerate one another, be patient, some valid advice. You have to be patient, you have to be tolerant.
Indeed, today is a very, very pleasant day, a day of joy, and therefore I join her in this merrymaking while praying for the success of the marriage of the new couple.
All right. In Nigerian culture, daughters hold a very special place in their parents' hearts. And for many mothers, giving away a daughter in marriage is both a joyful and emotional milestone. It's a moment filled with pride, hope, and bittersweet emotions. For the families of Abubakar, Sadiq, and Bello, this unforgettable occasion brought together guests from all corners of Nigeria at the Sultan Bello Mosque in Kaduna to witness the union of Sumaya and Farouk. Suraj Abdullahi captured the beautiful moment of this wedding for us here on Newsline.
Farouk and Sumaya. 200,000 naira was paid as dowry alongside other requirements and obligations. With the marriage rites completed, guests were hosted to a splendid reception, walima, in Islamic palace. This Quranic recitation creates a relaxed atmosphere for wining and dining. The large turnout of renowned Islamic scholars signifies the nobility of the couple's lineages. The newly wedded couple, advised by parents, family, and girls on the need to maintain the good image of their family by making the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, a priority.
From religious homes, both of them, the bride and the groom, they should respect what they have seen in their homes and how their families are living.
I want to add that and stress on that third-party involvement in their marriage.
Emphasis on the social media. Social media is one of the worst third parties. It's not just humans.
I have absolute belief that Sumaya will be a good housewife, and I'm also pleased that her husband, Architect Farouk, is well trained from also a very respected family.
As they are having a happy day today, they should know that there might be a challenge, but Allah in His infinite mercy
will help them overcome it.
For them to have a solid foundation, and the solid foundation is to live their lives according to the teachings of the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Also, I would like to advise them to disassociate themselves from bad friends.
Talking about, who would be the first to get married, and it turns out to be her. So I'm really happy for her. I'm excited for her. It's a beautiful thing.
We are very happy, very excited that our friend and brother Farouk has, gotten married today to the love of his life.
The lovebirds, who could not hide their joy, vowed to live life with maximum love and care.
I'm very, very lucky. I'm very, very lucky.
In all honesty, I think the feeling it cannot be explained to anyone because you have to experience it to be able to know what the feeling is.
All right, you're watching Newsline on the network service. Let's quickly step aside for a brief moment. When we return, we'll be stronger than ever. Welcome back. Now, Mariam Abacha American University in Kano has welcomed more than 1,200 new students for the 2024-2025 academic session. Now, what makes this matriculation stand out is not just the impressive number of students, but also the inclusion of over 100 international undergraduates from various countries studying critical disciplines in science and humanities. Now, this diverse and expanding academic body is also set to contribute significantly to addressing the country's skills gap and fostering global collaboration. Here is Shehu Adamu with the rest of this report for Newsline.
With the matriculation number of the Department of...
This marks the official enrollment of the students into Mariam Abacha American University Academic, as approved by the National Universities Commission, NUC.
I'm so excited to matriculate today in this prestigious university and very glad to be a part of this family.
I'm very happy to be matriculating today in this beautiful university. The architecture is beautiful, the founder is very nice, the teachers, the lecturers are very cooperative.
The teachers in Mariam Abacha are well-trained teachers. They are qualified teachers.
I'm so excited to continue my journey in this university. And I love Nigeria so much.
The founder of my own group of universities, Professor Adamu Abubakar Gwarzu, advised the matriculating students to face their studies with seriousness, saying anyone who fails to measure up will be dismissed. While assuring the student of the university's commitment to sustaining the provision of quality education, Professor Adamu Abubakar Gwarzu assured them that they stand to benefit from the university's profound intellectual and material investments.
Here, we are giving degree based on character and learning. Our students of Niger, they make us proud. They are the most employed graduate in the West African region.
For the parents, it is a dream come true in the quest for quality education for their children.
Alhamdulillah, what I have seen today at the matriculation exercise for 100 level students, I know this is a very serious school, and inshallah it will succeed and reach greater heights.
I'm really, really impressed from the environment to the crop of academicians we've seen in the school.
According to our dream, this university is perfect and fantastic.
I love everything, the decency, the way they dress, and the academics. We love it. That's why we put our children here.
President Mariam Abacha American University, Kano, Nigeria, Professor Muhammad Israd said the university offers its students the best in cutting-edge research and service delivery in science, leadership, and management.
At Mariam Abacha American University of Nigeria, we take pride in training students in academic work. We are focused on the character development of our students.
There were goodwill messages from the Vice President Administration of Maun Maradi Niger Republic, Dr. Shuaibu Tanku, and other dignitaries.
So, by now, you must have written your things to do, things to avoid for the new year. And if you haven't closed that list yet, Here's one more thing to add. Resolve to honor the men in your life and appreciate them for all they do. Otherwise, and just so we're clear, this isn't coming from me at all. It's actually the Nigerian men themselves calling for recognition of their contributions from the home to society. Of course, in the hope it will inspire even greater accomplishments in 2025. And Ifeoma Ihoje in Yanagoa, the Bayelsa State capital, shares their thoughts with us here on Newsline.
Men's lives are intricately woven with complexities, contradictions, and multifaceted identities. Beyond societal expectations of toughness and stoicism lies a tapestry of emotions, vulnerabilities, and sensitivities. It has been reported severally that traditional masculine norms perpetuate harmful stereotypes, discouraging men from expressing emotions, seeking help, or prioritizing self-care.
The culture made it so that from your upbringing, the treatment they give to a man is different from that of a woman. You see them buying a toy gun for man, then buy a baby for the female lady. And that upbringing inculcates, integrates in us to be very hard as a man. That is why you hardly see a man cry.
The tears of a man is always in his heart. And that is why they go through a lot of depression.
And some of them have also committed suicide because they cannot provide for the family, or the demand from the family is so much.
As the world strives for a more inclusive and equitable world, it's essential to recognize and celebrate the often overlooked contributions of men. From devoted fathers and husbands to dedicated professionals and community leaders, men play a vital role in shaping the world.
I want to advise everybody to appreciate the men, especially the wife. Sometimes when you see them return back from work or from business, please encourage them. The fact that we are called the head of the family is not a criteria for us to die young. We should be appreciated.
So we believe that with this awareness, so many people that are already depressed will get their awakening that yes, the world recognizes their effort, the world recognizes their contribution to the society.
Now, let's hear from the male folks, their greatest hits.
Let me speak from my own personal experience. 2018, everything around me died. And at that time, I could not speak to anybody. Apart from my wife and a friend that stood by me, every other person ran. And I could not stand up to talk to anybody. Nobody looked at me because I'm a man. Society has been so constructed.
Recognizing and challenging stereotypes is vital for fostering empathic communities, promoting holistic wellness, and empowering men to embrace their authentic selves.
If there's a ministry for women affairs, there should be a ministry for men affairs. To create that balance.
As a woman, you ought to work to support that your man. So in case your man does not have anything at home, you come up with something to help him.
We want our wives and our family relatives to be supportive in terms of care and showing love to the men. This will boost their morale that they are really valued in the society.
Because the man who is your husband, the man who is your father, he also needs that sense of appreciation.
Beyond traditional stereotypes, men have continued to redefine strength and leadership. Hence the call to honor the achievements of the male folks, address their challenges by prioritizing their overall well-being.
Someone said, this is the best story so far today on Newsline. We hear you loud and clear. All right, just a few more seconds with our partners. And of course, when we come back, we'll wrap up beautifully. All right, now for years, society has imposed perceptions that limit our abilities, ideas that certain feats are beyond our reach based on age, size, or experience. Yet, what happens when those boundaries are shattered by the most unlikely contenders at just 2 years old? This tiny skater is doing what many adults would hesitate to attempt, taking on one of the most demanding sports in the world. Tessio Mary met with her and shared the extraordinary story of this prodigy who's breaking down barriers.
Khadijat Umar Farouk is just
2 years old, and like any toddler, she is still learning to talk properly and be on her feet. But amazingly, Nadine is already making waves in the sporting world of skating.
What's your full name?
Nadine.
How old are you?
2 years old.
2 years old. What are you doing here?
I'm skating.
You're skating? You love skating? Considered as one of the difficult sports, Nadine dares the terrain and she is breaking barriers. Though she is yet to be enrolled in school, the little genius has already decided her future in the world of skating with her father as her coach. Interestingly, sports is her DNA.
She started skating, I think, a year and 7 months old. I would say she inspired herself because the Jabi Park has been a place we've always come to have a walk. I would say she's a natural when it comes to the skating thing. I don't know where she got it from, definitely not from me. There was a day we were just passing, she saw the man selling the skates and she held on to one and insisted that we must buy it for her.
I don't want to put a timeline or like a goal for her. I just wanted something she enjoyed. Like as a child too, I enjoyed sports. So I think it's something I enjoy. Even at university, I played sports. So for me, it's just something to have fun. Something to after a very stressful day at school or work, is something that you should. So for me, it's not really a goal. Anything she wants to do with it, she can. But she should just enjoy it. That's my main aim.
Beyond reward, skaters describe the game as a form of exercise.
Roller skate is a sport. It's a sport that is good for both adults and children. For the children, it helps them in building their brain. In terms of academic session, it helps them very well.
It takes some time for children to learn how to walk very well, but the ankles are always stiff. But once they skate, they feel pain on their ankle. It makes that place will be more flexible.
Now, sometimes man's determination, resilience, skill, or even dexterity cannot be truly explained. For instance, a toddler is supposed to be learning to walk steadily. But Nadine here has conquered that through sheer power and coordination of the mind. She's already skating. Now skating towards what will hopefully be a future of great accomplishments.
Am I challenged? Well, let's take you to Uto in Nnewi South local government area of Anambra State, where influx of dignitaries from within and outside graced the burial ceremonies of late Michael Okechukwu Etendo. Daniel Okpai tells us more.
81 years of impacting lives as well as service to God and humanity can best describe the life and times of the late Michael Okechukwu Etendo. From far and near, family members and well-wishers converged to pay their last respect to a man said to be an enigma, peace-loving, gentle, and a disciplinarian.
He's really a man of faith, a man who I think he knew the importance of having a strong faith in God and even good human relationship with one another.
Out of dust, man was created, and to dust, man will return. In an emotion-laden atmosphere, remains of the late octogenarian were laid to rest.
But most importantly, he instilled in us to have high character, moral values, and like I said, my dad is everything to us.
His fatherly hugs, his fatherly advice, his presence, his attention.
It ticks all the marks for me as a man, as a family man, as a leader, a protector.
So they are loving, they are kind, they are good people, and I'm very happy that I came into the family.
He led the family with love, and that love was what brought us here. When we came to take Vivian from here, and ever since there has been a very close relationship between the two families.
Condolences that followed were indeed a carnival of some sort. The late Michael Okechukwu Ezetendu Ide Ofoto has returned to his maker after his sojourn on earth. He left behind his wife, 5 children, grandchildren, and host of other relations.
Right, please sit back. Let's check the weather before we come back to wrap up nicely.
Glad to have you join us. As we head into Monday, expect lots of sunshine and hazy atmosphere across the northern and central regions. This will lead to slight increase in daytime temperatures across most places. Meanwhile, moist winds from the ocean are making their way further inland, bringing patches of clouds and intervals of sunshine across the southern half of the country. And that concludes the weather forecast. I am Joyce Ogunleye. Thank you for watching.
All right, thank you, Joyce Ogunleye from the Weather Center. It's time to say goodbye. But I hope that the stories we shared tonight were worth your while. And if you missed any part of the program, don't worry. You can catch it all on YouTube at your convenience. And while you're there, we'd also love to hear from you. Your feedback means the world to us. And if you have incredible stories you'd like us to uncover, do share with us. We're always listening to you. And a big shout out to the entire Newsline crew, especially our technical team for the beautiful magic they create behind the scenes. And of course, a heartfelt thank you to you, our dear viewer, for welcoming us into your space and spending your evening with us. So as I take a moment to pause and recharge, I'll leave you with this thought. Sometimes stepping away is the best way to return stronger. Rest is not a retreat, it's a renewal of strength, vision, and purpose. Keep striving, keep believing, and never stop chasing the extraordinary. From me, Claire Adelabu Abdulrazak, and the entire Newsline family, have a restful night and goodbye.
Wow.